still talking technology. We had, of course, the Honorable Minister of Digital Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, to speak with us about the year that was in technology for 2024 and also what to look ahead to with 2025. Also, to kick things off, I asked him about the 2025 budget and the amount of money allocated to infrastructure and, of course, whether or not he can expect that will be filtered through to expanding broadband penetration in Nigeria. Here's our conversation.
Absolutely, Rotus. I think if you follow the record of this president, this is a president that has strong clarity in the need to deepen but also build infrastructure. I think the president has been extremely clear on the role of digital economy in contributing to the growth that we would like to see in our country. So if you remember, earlier this year, the FEC approved a memo which was to set up a special purpose vehicle that is meant to deploy 90,000 kilometers of fiber optic cables in Nigeria. As you can imagine, half of that money is what the government will make available, and we've been able to secure private companies that will bring the other half. The half that the government is making available, which is just short under 1 billion, is being secured through loan. So that's already part of the borrowing plan for the country, and it's, of course, being reflected as a part of this budget as well. So we're extremely happy with the support that we've received from the President, from the Ministry of Finance, and the Minister, the CME as well. So we're looking forward to next year because, of course, we've made significant progress with our funding partner, particularly the World Bank, on this particular project. And we're looking forward to being able to start digging sometimes around Q2 to Q3 next year.
Fantastic. And so what are your plans as far as continued broadband expansion in 2025?
No, I think, for those who truly understand the backbone of connectivity, I know we see so many people who complain about the quality. When we came in, the assessment we did is that as a nation, you have two options to building the backbone for digital economy and connectivity. For people to truly enjoy quality connectivity, you will either have to rely on private companies, the MNOs, the infracos, to put their private funding into building expansive and extensive network for connectivity within the country. But the challenge with that approach, which is the first approach, is that businesses would only invest significantly where they are sure that their returns can be guaranteed almost immediately, or at least in a short to medium term sense. But the other option, which is the common option that you've seen in many progressive countries, is that government will have to understand and, of course, put its own skin in the game, knowing that connectivity is now nearly an important resource that every citizen should have access to, regardless of where you find yourself. And the quality of the connectivity in question has to be up to a certain level. And what you've seen is that government will then invest in that backbone that will allow businesses to be able to now transmit and run seamlessly and provide the quality of service that people want to see. So when we came in, we saw that the market for good quality connectivity in Nigeria is actually quite high. There's a significant percentage of Nigerians that are ready and willing to consume good quality connectivity products and services. But unfortunately, the investment is really below par. There's still a need for us to significantly invest in backbone. And that was what led us to the realization that government will need to put its own skin in the game, put money onto the table, set up a structure that can get it done. That's why it's a special purpose vehicle. It's not a government entity, but government will invest in it. It will be managed as if it's a private entity, but government will be on the board as well to deploy aggressively over the next 3 to 4 years, 90,000 kilometers, covering every aspect of this country. But we're not stopping there. One other thing that people have not noticed is that as a country, over the years, we've licensed a few satellite-based companies to also augment what we currently have. In the last 12 months, we've pushed really hard Nightcomsat to also deploy their satellite to support providing connectivity for people across the country. One of the conversations that I've had with the president that is likely to come on really strongly on our agenda next year is the augmentation of the base stations, because we have too many parts of our country that we still don't have the right base stations for telecommunication services. And again, government may have to invest to augment this, to ensure that we can provide quality connectivity service to our people. And we need to also remind people that connectivity today has also gone beyond just connecting people and allowing individuals to browse the internet. It is extremely critical for security. So if you don't have the infrastructure that is required to truly cover your country, then security will suffer because you have to use it for security. It is important for agriculture. For you to really do smart agriculture, you need good connectivity. It is now also extremely important for mining, which is a sector that Nigeria is now pushing hard on and taking seriously. So all of these things are the things that came together for us to say, you know what, we will not just go for a short-term solution to gloss over the problem, but we must find a medium to long-term solutions that will ensure that we can provide meaningful connectivity for our people. So we've laid that foundation in 2024. In 2025, towards the middle of the year, you will start to see a lot of activities around actually building out this network. And you also start to see improvement, significant, not just minor improvement. You start to see significant improvement because what we've also done is to also conduct a study. That study, we're going to be seeing the result in the next 1 or 2 weeks on the sustainability of our telecommunication sectors. What are the things we need to do to ensure that we can support them to be a lot more sustainable? Beyond just the conversation that has been out there about increase in tariff, which is what everybody is talking about, we think, yes, there may be a need for it, but there's so many other things that we need to do as a country to ensure that that sector is competitive. And beyond just supporting them to be competitive, that governments must also invest in digital infrastructure as well.
Fantastic breakdown. I have to ask you about 3MTT, because the budget also talks about human capital development and digital skills. What's the plans there as far as how far you've come this year and what you're looking at in 2025 to build up youth skills in software development?
I think if you watch the body language of Mr. President, you see that this is a president that is quite big on human capital development. He's talked about it before inauguration, even in elections. Afterward, he's talked about it extensively. 3MTT for us is not just about throwing numbers out there. We understand what it means if we truly train our people. The opportunities that, because there's a massive gap in talent for technology all over the world. You know, people in technology can attest to this, which is why for us, 3MTT has been done in such a way that we can deploy, learn, improve upon it, and continue to expand. So if you remember, in 2023, when we came into office, we actually, the first program I launched was the 3MTT, and we started with 30,000 people. Earlier this year, we moved that, we added about another 60,000 to it. In just a few weeks, we just announced another 90,000 cohorts that is joining that. So we've now done close to about 150,000. The goal is that everything that we've learned, not just in training them, in how we help them to find job opportunities, that we can now use that to start to scale this program to hit the 3 million target that we have. And the exciting thing is that with the new Minister of Trade and Investment as well. The program that was started before she came in, we're also now looking into that to see how we can strengthen that program, which is called NATEP, I believe. We've started having serious conversations around it in terms of how we can strengthen that program to ensure that these people that we're training, that they're actually ready to provide services to technology companies in Nigeria, but also abroad as well. If people are paying attention, you probably also see that the Vice President has also been extremely strong on trying to build a foundation for Nigeria to become the destination for outsourcing. So the new World Bank director is big on that. He's worked in Philippines before. So he's now helping us to understand how we can attract more companies that can outsource BPO services to Nigeria so that we can actually start to get more jobs for our people. So I think a lot of what we've done this year, even in the talent space, as much as we've trained significant amount of people, anyone that wants to check, if you go to any social media platform of your choice and put the word 3MTT into it, you will see stories of people that have benefited from this program. But we think we've learned so much that in 2025, we're going to be scaling this program big, and there'll be much more Nigerians benefiting from it as well.
Fantastic. Look, we were, with you at the Artificial Intelligence Summit, this year. Can you talk about what you're looking forward to with regards to AI in Nigeria?
You know, I know AI is a very sensitive conversation. Some people understand it, some don't. But as leaders, we have to be responsible. We cannot see important developments around us that will have implications for our future in 2 to 3 years or even 5 years' time, and we don't take action. You know, a lot of the decisions that were taken yesterday, they're responsible for where we are today. Our jobs as leaders is to ensure that the decisions we're taking today can protect our future in 3 to 4, 5 years' time. And that's why I've been very bullish about AI. And I think we've been extremely successful, Rotus. When I came in, I mentioned that I want Nigeria to be amongst 25 percentile countries in the world when it comes to artificial intelligence. Guess what? At the last UNGA, the UN released the list of top 60 countries in the world when it comes to artificial intelligence, and Nigeria is already part of it. Because people are paying attention to what we're doing. We're one of the few countries in the world that is taking our strategy through clear 6 stages, and these 6 stages is recognized. Only a few countries have done this in the world. But also we benefit from the fact that as a country we're extremely youthful. So people recognize that the future of artificial intelligence has to take Nigeria into consideration, because the human beings that will develop these things will be from countries like Nigeria. We have to be able to train them, which is why we've prioritized the training. AI is going to influence how we deliver government services. We've done a lot of trainings this year for government, for civil servants, you know, some of them supported by partners like Microsoft, for instance, where we've trained all the legal directors in the federal government to understand AI, how they need to take it into consideration when they're reviewing contracts and things like that. But beyond that as well, what we're projecting into for next year, as you know, we've started collecting a data set for our large language model. But we're projecting into next year is to start to show practical, concrete startups that are building solutions. Remember, we funded 45 AI startups earlier this year. We're expecting to see those startups, their products serving needs in agriculture, in health, in education, and we can start to show how these companies are generating job opportunities, but at the same time, how they are affecting and improving our GDP for us. There's a company today that is called Awari, that is based out of Ikorodu. Awari is an AI company that is employing, I think, about close to 150 people in Ikorodu. These young people are working for companies all over the world, especially around data annotation and labeling. All of this started during this administration. So we're very bullish. We understand why we're chasing AI. For us, it's about productivity. It's about ensuring that Nigeria is not left behind, but it's also about providing job opportunities for our people. Next year, you will see Nigeria will attend the 4th AI Safety Summit, the 4th ever in the world. Is going to be in France. And we're already in conversation for Nigeria to be the host. The 3rd one, rather, will be in France. We're already in conversation for Nigeria to be the host for the 4th one. That is a significant progress for us in AI, because when we do that, we can bring in investment into the artificial intelligence space. We can support our startups. We can support small businesses who want to participate, even large businesses as well. But I think most importantly is that we can create job opportunities for our young people.
Fantastic stuff. Honourable Minister, my final question for you, 2025, I mean, as you look back on this year, well, what's your outlook for tech and your ministry and tech as, you know, the sector for Nigeria going into the new year?
I think we're very aware that our people want, you know, they want to see changes in the country. And for us, we understand that we're not going to be promising and delivering things that are not concrete. So the foundations that we've laid, you're going to see us scaling them significantly next year. For instance, many people may not be following, but we've actually started the development of the National Web Design Standard. So for those who consume digital services from government, for instance, you can tell that one agency's website is different from the other. Sometimes you're not even sure if what you're seeing is a government website. That is about to change, because we're now creating the standard for what every government website in Nigeria will look like. When you see it, you can recognize the font, the color, you know, the layout, the logo of government. Everything is going to be extremely clear. So it'll be difficult for you not to know that you're visiting a government website. So that's the work that we've started. And next year, people will start to see those changes. Like we said, we're going to be scaling through MTT. We expect quality of connectivity to be significantly better. Investments into the ICT space as well should be expected to go up. In fact, we've done pretty well. The total FDI into the ICT space in 2023 was what we generated in Q1 alone this year. So despite the difficulty in the economy, we've actually done much better than the last 2 or 3 years in terms of FDI into the ICT space. We expect that to go up. Remember, this year we've also started the Digital Economy Bill, which is already gone through first reading at the National Assembly. This is the first bill in the history of Nigeria that is visiting all the states of the Federation and engaging people so that people can give their input. We expect this bill to be passed sometimes in Q1 or early Q2. And once that bill is passed, it's also going to change significantly the way the digital economy is managed in the country. We're also releasing before the end of this week, actually tomorrow, the draft for our data public infrastructure standard. This is the standard that will determine how government agencies are able to interchange and share data. This standard we expect will lead to the development of a data exchange system amongst government agencies in Nigeria. And we're expecting that once that standard is released, working with all the appropriate agencies, including NIMC, the head of service, you will start to see Nigeria now building a data exchange system that will allow for seamless exchange of data. So 2025 for us, in public sector language, is the year that we're cutting ribbons. This year is the year that we've done the hard work, we've built a foundation, and we've enjoyed serious partnership from partners like Luminate, like Microsoft, like Google, AWS, name them, the World Bank, AFDB, all these partners have been working with us, deeply to build out all these programs that we've been working on. And we expect that people will start to see the deep impact of these programs, not only on themselves, but on the GDP of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.